I just wanted to talk quickly about some sanding challenges. I'm working on a rocking chair right now where the arm comes back and through the leg. And here, you've got a very tight angle. This is less than 90 degrees because the leg swoops back and this is flat. So this is probably maybe 85 degrees. So it is very difficult to get a sander in there. When I did the glue up, I got rid of most of the glue just using a little scraper and just a rag to kind of clean it out. But I don't like using water because I don't like introducing water into the joint. I like to just scrape it once the glue is kind of semi-hardened. So I'm left with the area back here that is really hard to remove the glue from and also shape. So I looked at this new tool from Lee Valley, and it's a tiny little, basically like a little thumb rasp. And it's got a nice curve to it, so you can kind of get into some tight corners. And it's also quite aggressive, but it's not too aggressive. If you get really aggressive in here, you get a bunch of scratch marks. They're gonna be very hard to get rid of. You also don't want something too aggressive that's gonna make you lose your shape. Like I don't want there to be a divot here or here on the back of the leg. I want these to be left fairly straight. If I make a little tiny divot, I'll be able to work out that shape a little bit with a sander, but I wanna be very, very cautious of making too big of a divot here. So, my goal is to get rid of this white stuff in here. That's the glue. I need to remove that, and I also need to do a little bit of shaping. And I feel like this is an interesting tool. I'm gonna give it a try. So you can tell the glue from the wood by just seeing how the material flakes up. So when I am in here, it might be hard to see on the camera, but this will actually turn white. So I know that's glue. I have to get rid of that. I have to remove enough material until I know I'm just getting like basically black sawdust or brown sawdust coming off. And again, being very careful to not make a divot. And again, I want to preserve this angle, but also almost blend them into one another as well. Okay, so where I'm at now is I feel like I've gotten enough material removed that I'm not getting any more white powderous stuff that tells me it's glue. I'm really happy with this little tool. Actually, this worked really well. It was nice and small, and I was able to, sorry, get in focus here. It was nice and small, and I was able to, get into this angle really nicely, and it's not bulky, so I can kind of get the tip in there if I want. I feel like I have to do a little bit more work in here with the sandpaper around here, but it did do a nice job of doing a blend. So I feel like this is a nice intermediate step between the sandpaper and like a larger tool like the big rasp there. This is kind of nice. It's small and fits into this crevice quite nicely. So my next step is going to be getting different grits of sandpaper in here. I'll go through probably 80 and then all the way up to 400. But yeah, this did a really good job of removing glue where I don't think sandpaper would have done a very good job. Okay, so this is how the joint is looking now. I just took sandpaper and was just getting in there by hand, just working the spot, and it's looking pretty good. I still have to do some 400 grit sanding, and I have a little trick for that. So I have a 3-inch sander. I take a 6-inch pad and cut it to about 4.5. And so there's an outer ridge that sticks out from where the sander would normally be, and that I can actually use to get into this crevice, and it kind of folds over a little bit and gets in there. So that works really nice. That's a little trick that I've been doing. So if you take a 6-inch pad that's kind of worn out on the edges, just cut off all the stuff that's ripped on the edge and then make a smaller 4.5-inch pad. So that works really well. So overall, I would say using a little thumb rasp was really great. Allowed me to get in here and remove a lot of the glue, and a little bit more sanding, and then this joint will be nice and finished.